Top 25 Video Call Interview Questions and Answers. Video call interviews are now a normal part of the hiring process. Whether you are applying for a remote job, office job, customer service role, technical position, or corporate career, employers use video interviews to judge more than your answers. They also notice your communication style, confidence, preparation, body language, professionalism, internet setup, listening skills, and ability to stay calm in a virtual environment. Preparing for a video call interview helps you avoid common mistakes like poor lighting, weak audio, distracting backgrounds, and unclear answers. These questions and answers will help you respond confidently and professionally. 1. Can you introduce yourself? Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is your name, and I have experience in your field or skill area. I am someone who enjoys learning, solving problems, and working with others in a professional way. In my previous experience, I have developed strong communication, time management, and teamwork skills. I understand that video interviews require clear communication and focus, so I have prepared my setup and environment carefully. I am excited about this opportunity because I believe my skills and attitude match what this role requires. 2. Why are you interested in this position? I am interested in this position because it matches my skills, experience, and career goals. From what I understand, this role requires someone who can communicate clearly, stay organized, and handle responsibilities professionally. I enjoy working in roles where I can contribute, learn, and improve over time. This position also seems like a good opportunity to be part of a professional team and add value through my work. I am especially interested because the responsibilities align with what I do well and what I want to grow in further. 3. How did you prepare for this video call interview? I prepared for this video call interview by reviewing the job description, researching the company, and practicing answers to common interview questions. I also checked my internet connection, camera, microphone, lighting, and background to make sure there would be no distractions. I chose a quiet place where I could focus fully on the conversation. I also kept a copy of my resume and notes nearby, but I do not plan to read directly from them. My goal was to be prepared, professional, and fully present during the interview. 4. What steps do you take to make sure your video interview goes smoothly? To make sure a video interview goes smoothly, I test my camera, microphone, and internet connection before the meeting starts. I also make sure my device is charged or plugged in, and I close unnecessary apps to avoid interruptions. I choose a clean, quiet background and sit in a well-lit area. I join the meeting a few minutes early so I am not rushed. During the interview, I listen carefully, look at the camera when speaking, and speak clearly. These steps help me appear professional and focused. 5. How do you handle technical problems during a video call? If a technical problem happens during a video call, I try to stay calm and professional. First, I would quickly check my internet connection, microphone, camera, or meeting platform. If the issue continues, I would politely let the interviewer know through chat, email, or phone if available. I believe communication is important in that situation because silence can create confusion. I would apologize briefly, explain the issue, and try to reconnect as soon as possible. Staying calm and respectful is the best way to handle technical problems. 6. How do you make sure you communicate clearly on a video call? I make sure I communicate clearly on a video call by speaking at a steady pace, using simple language, and avoiding long, confusing answers. I also listen carefully before responding so I fully understand the question. Since video calls can sometimes have delays, I try not to interrupt and give the other person time to finish speaking. I also use positive body language, such as sitting upright and maintaining eye contact with the camera. Clear communication means being organized, respectful, and easy to understand throughout the conversation. 7. What would you do if your internet connection became unstable during the interview? If my internet connection became unstable during the interview, I would first try to reconnect quickly or switch to a backup connection if available. If the connection continued to cause problems, I would inform the interviewer politely through email or chat. I would explain the situation briefly and ask if we could continue by phone or reschedule if necessary. I understand that technical problems can happen, but I believe the key is to respond quickly, communicate clearly, and remain professional instead of panicking or disappearing from the meeting. 8. How do you show professionalism in a video interview? I show professionalism in a video interview by being prepared, joining on time, dressing appropriately, and choosing a quiet, clean environment. I make sure my camera and microphone work properly and that my background is not distracting. During the interview, I listen carefully, speak respectfully, and answer questions with confidence. I also avoid checking my phone or looking away too often. Professionalism is not only about appearance. It is also about attitude, preparation, communication, and showing the interviewer that I take the opportunity seriously. 9. How do you manage nervousness during a video call interview? I manage nervousness by preparing well before the interview and reminding myself that the conversation is an opportunity to show my skills. I practice common questions, review my resume, and make sure my setup is ready so I feel more confident. During the interview, I take a calm breath before answering and focus on the question instead of worrying about mistakes. I also try to speak naturally rather than memorizing every word. A little nervousness is normal, but preparation helps me stay calm and professional. 10. What type of environment do you choose for a video interview? For a video interview, I choose a quiet, clean, and well-lit environment where I can focus without distractions. I make sure the background is simple and professional, and I avoid noisy places or areas where people may walk behind me. I also check that my face is clearly visible on camera and that the lighting is not too dark or too bright. A good environment helps the interviewer focus on my answers instead of distractions. It also shows that I respect the interview process. 11. How do you maintain eye contact during a video interview? During a video interview, I maintain eye contact by looking at the camera when I am speaking, rather than only looking at the screen. I understand that this helps create the feeling of direct communication with the interviewer. At the same time, I naturally look at the screen when listening so I can observe their expressions and reactions. I try to balance both in a natural way. Good eye contact on video shows confidence, attention, and respect, even though the interview is happening virtually. 12. What would you do if there was background noise during your interview? If there was background noise during my interview, I would first try to reduce it immediately by closing a door, muting notifications, or moving to a quieter area if possible. If the noise continued, I would briefly apologize and explain the situation professionally. I would also mute myself when I am not speaking if needed. I understand that a quiet environment is important, so I always try to prepare in advance. However, if unexpected noise happens, I believe it is best to handle it calmly and respectfully. 13. How do you make a good first impression on a video call? I make a good first impression on a video call by joining on time, greeting the interviewer politely, and appearing prepared and professional. I make sure my camera is positioned properly, my audio is clear, and my background is neat. I also smile naturally, sit upright, and show positive energy from the beginning. A strong first impression comes from being organized, respectful, and confident. I want the interviewer to feel that I am serious about the opportunity and ready to have a professional conversation. 14. How do you answer questions when there is a delay or lag in the video call? If there is a delay or lag in the video call, I try to be patient and avoid interrupting the interviewer. I wait a moment after they finish speaking before I respond, just to make sure they are done. If I miss part of the question because of the lag, I politely ask them to repeat it. I believe it is better to clarify than to answer incorrectly. Staying calm, speaking clearly, and allowing small pauses can help the conversation continue smoothly despite technical delays. 15. How do you handle distractions during a video interview? I handle distractions by preparing my environment before the interview starts. I silence my phone, close unnecessary tabs, inform people around me that I need quiet time, and choose a private place. If an unexpected distraction happens, I stay calm, apologize briefly if needed, and refocus quickly on the interview. I do not let small interruptions affect my confidence or performance. In a video interview, focus is very important because it shows respect for the interviewer and shows that I can manage my environment professionally. 16. Why is body language important in a video interview? Body language is important in a video interview because it helps communicate confidence, interest, and professionalism. Even though the interview is virtual, the interviewer can still notice posture, facial expressions, eye contact, and attention. I try to sit upright, keep a calm expression, and avoid movements that look distracting. I also nod when listening to show that I am engaged. Good body language supports my answers and makes the conversation feel more natural. It shows that I am focused, respectful, and interested in the role. 17. How do you make sure you sound confident on a video call? I make sure I sound confident by preparing key points before the interview and practicing my answers out loud. I avoid speaking too fast because that can make me sound nervous or unclear. Instead, I speak at a steady pace and organize my answers with examples when possible. I also try to keep my tone positive and professional. Confidence does not mean acting perfect. It means being prepared, honest, and clear. When I understand my experience and the job requirements, I can speak more confidently. 18. What would you do if you did not understand a question during the video interview? If I did not understand a question during a video interview, I would politely ask the interviewer to repeat or clarify it. I believe it is better to ask for clarification than to give an answer that does not address the question. I might say, could you please explain that question a little more, or do you mean in terms of my previous experience or how I would handle it in this role? This shows that I am listening carefully and want to give a relevant, thoughtful answer. 19. How do you stay engaged when the interview is online instead of in person? I stay engaged during an online interview by listening actively, maintaining good posture, and responding clearly to each question. I avoid multitasking and keep my attention fully on the interviewer. I also use small signals like nodding and smiling when appropriate to show that I am listening. Since online interviews can sometimes feel less personal, I try to bring positive energy and communicate naturally. Staying engaged shows that I respect the interviewer's time and that I am genuinely interested in the opportunity. 20. How do you handle a panel interview on video call? In a video panel interview, I make sure to listen carefully to each interviewer and address the person who asked the question. I also try to include the whole panel by occasionally looking at the camera and keeping my answers clear for everyone. If multiple people speak, I stay patient and avoid interrupting. I take a moment to understand the question before answering. Panel interviews can feel more challenging, but I see them as a chance to show communication skills, confidence, and professionalism with different people. 21. What should you avoid during a video interview? During a video interview, I would avoid joining late, using a messy background, checking my phone, interrupting the interviewer, or giving answers that are too long and unfocused. I would also avoid reading directly from notes because it can make the conversation feel unnatural. Poor lighting, weak audio, and casual body language can also create a bad impression. I believe a video interview should be treated as seriously as an in-person interview. Avoiding these mistakes helps me appear prepared, respectful, and professional. 22. How do you use notes during a video interview without looking unprepared? I use notes carefully by keeping only short bullet points nearby, such as key achievements, questions to ask, or important details about the company. I do not read full answers from my notes because that can sound robotic and reduce eye contact. Instead, I use them as a quick reminder if needed. My focus remains on the interviewer and the conversation. Notes can be helpful when used properly, but preparation is still important. The goal is to sound natural, confident, and organized. 23. What questions would you ask the interviewer at the end of a video interview? At the end of a video interview, I would ask thoughtful questions that show interest in the role and company. For example, I might ask, what does success look like in this position during the first few months? Or, what are the biggest challenges someone in this role should be ready for? I may also ask about the team, training process, or next steps. Asking good questions shows that I am serious about the opportunity and that I want to understand the role clearly. 24. How do you close a video interview professionally? I close a video interview professionally by thanking the interviewer for their time and the opportunity to speak with them. I briefly express my continued interest in the position and mention that I enjoyed learning more about the role. I also ask about the next steps if they have not already explained them. Before leaving the call, I make sure to say goodbye politely and wait for the conversation to end properly. A professional closing leaves a positive final impression and shows respect. 25. Why should we hire you? You should hire me because I am prepared, reliable, and serious about doing this job well. I have the skills needed for the role, and I am also willing to learn and improve. I communicate clearly, stay organized, and handle responsibilities with a professional attitude. In a video interview, I hope I have shown that I can present myself confidently, listen carefully, and respond thoughtfully. I believe I can contribute positively to your team and grow with the company while meeting the expectations of this position. Video call interviews may feel different from in-person interviews, but the goal is the same: to show that you are prepared, professional, and suitable for the role. A strong video interview depends on both your answers and your setup. Clear audio, good lighting, a quiet background, confident body language, and focused communication can all help you stand out. The best way to prepare is to practice common questions, test your technology, and stay calm if something unexpected happens. With the right preparation, you can make a strong impression and increase your chances of success.